Hi all, I am Manish and I am back with another video. In my last two videos, I have talked about functions from count and sum family. And today I'll talk about the three lookup functions, lookup, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. But first, let us get familiar with the data we are going to use for our exercise today. I have a small table over here and I have added sections where we'll write the formulas. This file is also available for download in the link in description. Let us see how these functions work. So today, first I'll talk about the lookup function. Lookup function is used to look for values from lookup range or result range. Let us see how this works with an example. In cell D12, I'll write the lookup function which is used only to look up within the range. So equal to lookup. In C12, I've already created a drop down which has unique item names. So I'll select that as my lookup value. And then for lookup range, I'll select the item names that I have, close bracket and enter. So I can see I'm getting pen for pen. So that it means that there is an item pen existing in my range. So if I change this to binder, I'll get a binder, or desk, I'll get a desk. For pencil, I'll get a pencil. So whatever lookup value I have in my drop down list, when I'm selecting those, it is going to check whether that value is available in my range or not. And it will throw me the same result in cell D12. Now, the second way to use lookup function is where we have a result range. So I have order ID already listed out over here, and I'll write my formula in D15. So I'll try to use order ID as my reference to find which item it relates to. So that item becomes my result range equal to lookup. I'll select C15 as my lookup value. I'll select my order ID as my lookup range, and then for result range I'll go and select the item name and enter. So I can see 10539 has pencils in it, and if I change this to 10520, so it has binders in it. So we have seen how lookup function works, but I would like to add a disclaimer. If the lookup function cannot find an exact match, it chooses the largest value in the array that is less than or equal to the value. Also, if the value in the range are not sorted in ascending order, the lookup function will return the incorrect value. All this makes lookup function completely unusable, and especially if you're dealing with a big list or a large data, you may have errors that you may have no idea about. Let me show this with an example. I'll change the order ID with a number which is not listed here. In a normal scenario, when we write a lookup or HLOOKUP function, we get an error. But in this case, it will give me a value for the last match. That is a match for the order ID which is less than or equal to the order ID in the table. So in this case, I'll type 10526. So I don't have this in the order ID list that I have. I still get desk as my result. This is the reason I don't rely on lookup function, as it has its own flaw. Now let's see VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP function is the second member of the lookup family. This looks up for value in a table from left to right. For example, if I see the table here, I see from left to right I have order ID, item name, unit sold, total sales. Against the order ID, I can see what item was sold, how many units of the item were sold, what was the total sales. So using order ID as my main criteria, I can fetch any data on the right side of the table, like item name, unit sold, or total sales. Let me show this with the example in cell E19. So I have already created lookup value reference over here and column index number equal to VLOOKUP. I'll first refer to my lookup value, that is order ID. Now I'll go and select my lookup range, and then I have to give the column index number. So currently I'll write 2, and then I always look for exact match, so I use 0 and enter. So for order ID 10520, and in the second column from the left side I have binders. Since my column index number I used 2 in my formula, I got a binder. So instead of manually writing 2, let me link this to the cell that I have over here. When I say 3, I get units sold. So these numbers that I'm putting here are telling me from which column in my range I want to pick the value from. So when I make it 4, it gives me the total sale. So from the right side, if I see from order ID till total sale, I have 4 columns. So when I said 4, it is giving me total sales. When I said 3, it is giving me my unit sold. When I select 2, it is giving me item number. And if I select 1, it gives me the order ID. Now we'll see how HLOOKUP works. So HLOOKUP works similar to VLOOKUP function. Only difference is that VLOOKUP works from left to right. HLOOKUP will work from top to bottom. Let's see this in cell E23. But before that, when I say top to bottom, that means I can use my header row as my reference in the example that I have over here. And when I say row index number refers to which row from top I want to pull the data from or pull the values from. So when I write the HLOOKUP formula equal to HLOOKUP, I'll first look for my lookup range. Then I have to select my range and then index number, row index number. So in this case, I'll select 2, and then since I look for exact match, I'll write 0 and enter. So in my drop down over here, I have selected order ID and I'm giving reference to row number 2. So order ID is row number 1 and then row number 2. If I change this to 5, so since I have now linked this formula to the row index number section that I have created, and I have 5 written over here, I can see 5th row from top is 10530. And from the drop down, if I change this to item name, I get pen set. So from item name, 5th row is pen set. Now we have seen all the 3 functions. I find using lookup function little risky to use, so I do not use it much, but VLOOKUP is my most used or go-to function. Both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP are similar in nature. for the fact that one looks from left to right and the other looks from top to bottom. But the biggest flaw they have is that it will always take the first lookup value from the range we have selected. When I say it will pick first value, for example, I have a big list where I have desk or pen repeated multiple times. So it will always take that first instance where pen or desk are repeated. Both the functions are very useful and can be easily used in combination of other functions. I've often combined lookup with other functions like if, sum, indirect, and many other functions within Excel. In my future videos, I'll try to show you how we can combine this with other functions. I hope you learned how and where we can use these functions from lookup family, and you can relate this video to your work and Excel use. If you're getting stuck with any Excel function or with any dashboard and you have any Excel related query, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you for watching this. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button so you can get the automatic notification. And if you have something to say, please leave a comment. Goodbye and take care.